Guys, I'm going to see if the stream is working. Usual stuff, just test audio, test video, and I'll be just saying hi. So 1 second. Okay, YouTube says it's receiving my content. Wonderful. It is at 1440p, awesome. Just saying. Okay, it's working, awesome. Very quick this time around, fantastic. So hello everyone. I'm Santiago, and today I'm gonna be testing Mortal Kombat 11 on the 1050 Ti, and after I'm done testing it on this card, I'll be testing the RX 570. So we have the two, well, the RX 570 is cheaper, so I want to see how it stacks up. Considering it's the recommended requirement, and the 1050 non-Ti is the minimum, so it will be nice to see. Also, before starting, I need to say this game was provided by WB Games, so I got a review copy for it. I needed to disclose it. You know how it goes. So yeah, thanks to WB Games for providing a copy of the game. Considering this will probably be demonetized pretty much instantly, is very helpful. How are you doing, guys? Good to see ya. 750 Ti. Yes, tomorrow I'll be doing 1050 Ti, 750 Ti, 570, and all that stuff. Right now I'm super limited on time. Probably, if I have enough time, I'll do the 750 Ti just to see how it goes. But yeah, right now I want to focus on the 1050 Ti and 570. If there's time for the 750 Ti on the stream, I'll do it. But tomorrow I'll be doing more videos on it, so don't worry. I'll be testing all the cards that I usually test. So, okay, this is the options menu, 1080p, as you can see. We have a VSync option, a dynamic resolution option like on Injustice 2, a frame skip option like on Injustice 2, which should be always on in the multiplayer according to the options menu. Then we got I'll go to the advanced options. We got texture quality, AA mode, anisotropic filtering, bloom, motion blur, lighting, ambient occlusion, particle density, which part of your PC does the particles, GPU or CPU, shadow quality, and that's about it. These are all the options. Right now the game is completely maxed out on the 1080p resolution on the 1050 Ti, and I'm not going to use dynamic resolution for now. You can also do an autoconfig, which isn't 100% accurate, but let's just run the benchmark first. Let's see how it goes without dynamic resolution and with the ultra preset, just to see how it goes. Saludos Nahuel, ¿cómo andás? ¿Todo bien? Alex, GTX 1060, sí, mañana 1060. Tengo un problema que hay de FPS en Witcher 2. Sí, es normal. En el Witcher 2 hay partes que se caen los FPS muchísimo. Es normal, parte del juego. Alright, so this is the benchmark tool. We're getting 58 frames per second, 57 on the maximum settings. I have to say this benchmark is very boring. It dropped to 53 when the effect showed up. But yeah, what a boring benchmark, nothing happening. Okay, that was the shortest and most boring benchmark I saw. So according to this, the average was 57. Then minimum maximum FPS, minimum of 47 and a maximum of 60. The game is kept at 60 frames per second. So yeah, according to the game, we shouldn't play like this. I mean, it dropped to 53, no big deal. I'll try it now with dynamic resolution just to see if it actually works. On some games, dynamic resolution doesn't do anything. So let's try it out with dynamic res. But yeah, I'm pretty shocked considering that Injustice 2 had more trouble. We'll see. Okay, come on. Alright, now we're getting 60 FPS pretty much locked. I can see the game is a little blurrier, so the dynamic resolution is actually doing something. Especially down in that net in the background, you can notice it. But it's no big deal, I would say. Now it's 55 to 60, so I would say if you want ultra settings, just enable dynamic resolution. What I'm going to do right now is disable this and try to hit 60s without changing the resolution. I'll put the particles on the CPU, the particle density on high, lighting on medium, motion blur, let's keep it on, just in case. At 60 frames I don't really notice much of a difference, and keep shadows on high. So I'm using pretty much, yeah, high settings, but with lighting on medium. Let's change the status to 1080p high mid for now. Let's give it a try. So we're going to run the benchmark now. We accept the changes. Hopefully it doesn't restart the game. We'll see. Okay, still 1080p, fantastic. Let's run the benchmark with the settings selected. So Scorpion Vinny, you cannot run the game. Try, I mean, sometimes people have issues when a game launches. Try verifying the game's cache on Steam. That usually helps. Sí, va a ser una pelea ahora en un rato. I'm going to fight in a little bit. Be patient. Okay, so by lowering those two things, lighting to medium, shadows to high, and putting the particles on the CPU, we're getting 60s even when he freezes Scorpion. That's about it. So yeah, very little tweaking needed, at least for the boring benchmark we're watching. I'm now going to actually play the game with a controller. So yeah, these are my, at the moment, the settings I'm going to be using. 1080p, no dynamic resolution, no frame skips, very high textures, FXAA plus TAA, bloom enabled, motion blur enabled. Let me show you here. Lighting on medium instead of high, ambient occlusion enabled, particle density on high. I also lowered the particle density from very high to high, particles on CPU, and shadows from very high to high. That's about it. So yeah, let's keep that, accept the settings, and let's just play the game a little bit. I want to test as many stages as possible. So we're going to do, no, I don't want a tutorial, at least not for now. I'm going to do the classic Scorpion versus Sub-Zero. I'm boring like that. And what now? Am I stuck? Oh, okay, it thinks that I want to play two people. Okay. Opponent type CPU. Okay, gotcha. I screwed up there. Okay, there are a good amount of stages. Let's start with the one in the benchmark, because it should be the most demanding one. This one with the ship in the background. And one thing to note, the cinematics, the X-rays, the fatalities, the intros, the menus are all capped at 30 frames per second. Then the actual game is capped at 60. So that's usually what happens with fighting games. Alright, still 60s, fantastic. This GPU usage is over 90. So if I get to another stage and I get lower than 90%, this one is probably more demanding. Just one thing to keep in mind. I don't even know how to play this game. I've come from Mortal Kombat X. So I'm just pressing random buttons, hoping for the best. Okay, that's the get over here motion. I have to say that the water that splashes on the ship is pretty low frame rate too. Kinda disappointing. Okay. Oh man. This probably is going to get this video demonetized, but as you can see, it drops into the 30s when you do one of these sequences. It's just locked at that frame rate in those moments, like on Mortal Kombat X, Mortal Kombat 9, usual stuff. But yeah, as you can see, the water splashes in the background are very low frame rate for some reason. They're dropping to the 58 mark, no big deal. The game is completely playable. Whoa. There, it dropped to the 30s. Again, one of those scripted sequences to be expected. Don't worry too much about that. You cannot do anything about it. What about the GTX 1050 to Gigabytes? Well, it should be 10% slower than this one. So in that case, I would expect medium settings to be performing like this. So yeah, I'll keep that in mind. I don't even know how to grab. So yeah. Sí, con la 750 Ti en un rato capaz, si me da el tiempo, vamos a probarla, pero primero la 570. I was saying in Spanish that I'll do the 750 Ti if I have time today in this live stream, because after the 1050 Ti I'll test the RX 570. That's the best quality, the best value to performance better set value for for the performance at the moment compared to the 1050 Ti. Right now is not good value, I would say. So yeah, I like to test both. But yeah, if I have time after that one, I'll do the 750 Ti for sure. It's the card that started everything in this channel, so I like to test it out anyways, despite its age. Pretty cheap card in the used market. Please let me win. Alright, I'll do a fatality. I know this is going to get me demonetized, but I don't care. Back down down X. Back down down X. Oh, back down down X. Nah, not going to work. Okay, I'm not going to be demonetized instantly. I screwed up, but that's okay. Okay, so far so good. Let's try a different stage now, so we can see if that was the most demanding one or not. It will be interesting to see. And after that, I'll start just swapping GPUs. It makes more sense to me, at least. Let's see, this is Lost Hive. I'm trying to see... Okay, this one has an effect in the background, the Shinnok Bone Temple. Let's try that one. How about the 1050 Ti G4560? So far from what I'm seeing, there's not a lot of CPU usage. We're below 50%, at least while fighting. Okay, this stage seems to be a little more taxing compared to the other one. We're at 99% GPU usage. In the other one we dropped into the low 90%. So yeah, on this one it should be slightly more taxing, I'd say. But just slightly, it dropped into the mid 50s now, which was quite rare in the other one. But if you enable frame skip, it shouldn't be a big deal. Oh man, the demonetization is going to be real on that one. Great. But yeah, the performance is much better than Injustice 2, as far as I can remember. If I forgot about it, I'm sorry. But I remember that that game was harder to tweak. It's probably due to the switch from heavily modified Unreal Engine 3 on Injustice 2 to a full-on Unreal Engine 4. As far as I know, this is Unreal Engine 4. So yeah, it's interesting to see the optimizations, considering that the game looks better than Injustice 2. At least for what I'm seeing in the 10 minutes that I played. So yeah. Oh man. In the animation have drops. What do you mean? Yeah, in these animations it will cap to 30 frames. It's normal, the consoles have the same thing. So yeah, no big deal. Oh man, he blocked me. I'm screwed. Down, back, square. Nope. I missed it again. Oh yeah, this one seemed to be slightly more taxing than the one with the ship in the background. Let's give it another go in another place, then I swap GPUs. It is Unreal Engine 3. Really? They're still using Unreal Engine 3? If that's the case, I'm shocked. Okay, let me see. Lost Hive. The Turn Grog. At least this one has more shadows, as far as I remember. Okay, let's do this one. Shansung's Island Ruins. That would be cool. Yeah, the 1060 I'll do it too. I think I'll just test 2 more stages and start swapping GPUs. It seems that you guys are more interested in seeing that. Yeah, this one is the same one as in most demos. So yeah. Sí, Dux, tengo. Sí, tengo vida fuera de este cuarto. Sí, por supuesto. El tema es que esto me toma muchas horas de mi vida, pero estoy completamente contento con eso. You like bananas? Yes, of course. Best fruit ever, 11 out of 10. Oh man, it's kicking my ass. Oh man, I really need to practice. Bam, demonetized. Incredible. I really cannot believe this is Unreal Engine 3. I really thought that it was Unreal Engine 4. They do amazing stuff in Another Realm. Nev Saibot best finish ever. Okay, I'll swap it out. Maybe. Is it worth to buy a 1050 Ti currently? Depends on the price in your country. I'd say if you have a 570 and similarly priced 570 available, go for the 570, the AMD Radeon RX 570. Performs better. In most places that I saw, it was cheaper or at the same price. And on that one, there's no competition. I mean, you get better performance for the same or less money, at least right now. And also the 1650, the GTX 1650 released today. I bought it, so probably in a couple of weeks I'll be testing that to see how it stacks up against the 1050 Ti, 570, 1060, and I should pay more attention to what I'm doing. Hang on, guys. Almost. I don't... Oh, okay. That's how I block. Okay. Toasty. Here is a minimal salary. Well, yeah, same here. In this country, that's how it works. Alright. I'm screwed now. Oh man. Is it worth a buy? RX 580 4 gigabytes? Yeah, in my opinion it's worth the price if you can find it for cheap. I bought mine, the 8 gigabyte version, a while ago for $160 or $170 on Amazon, I think it was. So yeah, at that price it was a no-brainer, I'd say, considering the performance you get. Oh, I screwed up. Okay, he got me now. Alright. So far the stages I tested had very similar performance. I think I'll just now swap to the RX 570. I don't see a lot of variation here. Let me see once again, just in case. The dungeon. Let's try the bunker and then I'll test the RX 570 because I'm quite limited on time today. Sorry guys. And I can't speak English, so I'm just say anything. Okay, gotcha. You have the RX 570, keep up the good work. Thank you. I'll keep it up. Enjoy the 570. Alright, this one is the most taxing one so far. As you can see, we're below 60 all the time. So this should definitely be the benchmark for the videos, at least right now. As you can see, the game is slowed down. That's because the frame skipping option is disabled. If you're playing multiplayer, if you're playing online, the frame skip will be on by default, so you cannot disable it. It will make the game not go in slow motion. So please consider that if you want to, yeah, play with high settings or something like that, despite not hitting 60s. On this one we definitely need dynamic resolution. I didn't choose the correct settings, so yeah, at the moment the most demanding stage should be this one. On the other ones we were getting 60s pretty much all the time with drops into the mid 50s. Here that's not the case. We're pretty much below 60 all the time on this one. So yeah, sí, con las 570 ver mejor seguro. So yeah, now I need to tweak the game a little bit so we can see which one is the best experience for this card. And after I do that and find out, I'll test 900p on a single match, then 720p, just for the sake of it. And finally, after all that, I'll swap to the 570, and then we'll see what we do. But yeah, as you can see, it's pretty much slow motion when hitting 50s. Again, just enable frame skip, and it will be a much more playable experience. And more visually appealing, that's for sure. Hablar en español, y bueno, si no me escriben en español del todo no puedo. O sea, dos idiomas a la vez es medio jodido, me parece. Are you from Spain or South America? I'm from South America. From the land of Uruguay. The land of Luis Suarez, Cavani, Diego Forlán, all that stuff. Come on. Let me see if I'm lucky on this one. Critical. Yep, cheesing through it works. Let me see if I can do a fatality. Back, down, down, X. And this is at what distance? Far. Back, down, down, X. Back, down, down, X. Back, down, down, X. Okay, finally I got it. This is why I will demonetize the video. Just to be able to do a fatality. Great. It worked. Sí, soy de Montevideo, tío. Yeah. Okay, let's go back to the menu and swap a couple things for the performance. We're going to swap to... Whoa, I screwed up on that one. I forgot the buttons. So we were doing like medium settings. Let's lower the particle density and let's disable maybe ambient occlusion, or yeah, let's disable ambient occlusion. This should pretty much fix it, but the game will look flat pretty much. That usually sucks, but hey, let me change the status to medium settings. No AO. TDP mid plus no AO. That's what we are at right now. Estos juegos deben ir cerca de 60 o fijos. Sí, prácticamente. As I was saying, I'm not going to be using frame skipping on this one. And I'm going to be using medium settings, pretty much. Let's keep it like this. If it's not enough, I'll go back into the menu and lower shadows. That's about it. Now but we found a pretty demanding stage. This one, the tank garage bunker. This one should be the one in the benchmark tool. If another realm is watching this video, I really doubt it. Put that in the benchmark, not the other one. Okay, now this is better. Now we're getting 60s, but the game is... never mind. We drop into the mid-50s with all the effects on screen. But yeah, this is the worst case scenario, at least for what I played so far. So I expect on the other stages to have locked 60. But yeah, I'll lower shadows to medium now. Let me do that pretty quickly, just to be sure. We're going to swap to medium shadows. And if that's not enough, well, we'll try to do dynamic resolution, because why not? So we just move this to medium. We go back and we apply the settings. Yes, please. All right. Local fight against CPU. Yeah, whatever. And we go into the tank garage bunker. Se defiende bastante bien la D50 y depende de cuánto pagues por ella y precios de otras placas, pero sí, aún funciona. Why don't you play with the Intel Pentium? Because it's 2 cores. I can do 2 cores on a separate video. Okay, now we're getting a couple extra frames, but still, the particles seems to be the problem. So I need to lower the particles. But yeah, I think dynamic resolution makes more sense. We should be able to have ambient occlusion. But yeah, this is kind of ridiculous. So yeah, let's go back. Sorry guys, I'm trying to tweak the game and I cannot change settings in the middle of the match, to say it in some way. So we're going to change now the particle density to very low, just as a stress test. To say it in some way, we accept it. If that's the case, we're probably going to see locked 60s. And okay. CPU, blah 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 blah. And the tank bunker. I can hear your fans. Yeah, on the main PC. That's the PC that's doing the live stream. So yeah, it should be pretty loud. José, supongo que sí, mientras el adaptador sea por Bluetooth, debería funcionar. Okay, now that I lowered the particle density, let's see when effects show up. We'll still drop into the mid-50s. I know I cranked up shadows a little bit, but it's not a huge difference for what I'm seeing so far. So yeah, in this case, I'll just enable the ambient occlusion, keep everything on high, and put frame skip and dynamic resolution. Yeah, we're still dropping. So yeah, I prefer to do that instead of lowering, I don't know, disabling ambient occlusion, disabling shadows, something like that. I prefer to avoid that and tweak the resolution a tiny bit. But yeah, let me show you my best settings for what I played so far. So you go into the graphics menu, go into the advanced mode, you keep the lighting on medium. Yeah, medium is fine. Ambient occlusion, particles on medium, the particle density, the particles on the CPU, shadows on high. Pretty much, yeah, a mix between medium and high. Let's try this on high instead, just high settings. And we put dynamic resolution and frame skip in case we drop into the 50s. And we accept the settings. So we're going to put here in the status 1080p high plus dynamic res. And that should be best. Let's give it a try. Scorpion and Sub-Zero. How creative. I have a 1050 Ti 4 GB and an i5. Gonna run this game? Yeah, sure. It should be fine. It doesn't seem to be harsh on the CPU. It's more of a GPU bound game. Let's check it out. Okay. Dynamic resolution is not doing any magic for what I'm seeing. So yeah. I mean, the game feels smooth enough. It doesn't feel like slow motion like before. But yeah, I think medium settings dynamic resolution is the best way now that I'm testing it out like this. So yeah, that sucks, but similar to Injustice. So yeah, I get back what I said at the start. This runs similar to Injustice 2, at least in this demanding stage. Whoa. Okay, screwed up. So yeah, I'll swap to medium now. So I can see if it runs at actually log 60s. And if it does, well, that's a win. So we'll lower light into medium, no ambient occlusion, particles to medium, shadows to medium. And we accept the settings. So we have dynamic res, frame skip, 1080p. Probably not going to be 1080p in this stage, but that's alright. So it's 1080p medium plus dynamic res. And I'm going to make this smaller. Awesome. So I accept the settings and give it one more try. After this, I will try 900p. That should be a better idea. Because dynamic resolution is probably putting it on 900p. The GTX 1650 is released. Yes, I know. I already bought it. It's on its way from the US to my country, so it'll take like a couple weeks to arrive. But yeah, okay, now I'm finally seeing 60. A lot better. I mean, in my eyes, 55 and 60, not a big deal if you have frame skip enabled. Still drops into the 57 mark. 56, okay. Mid 50s when effects show up. I don't like that, but hey, that's what we got. So yeah, that will be the best 1080p settings, in my opinion. At least in this demanding stage. So yeah, I would recommend you go for that. Medium settings, no ambient occlusion, and dynamic resolution. That should be it. So yeah. I screwed up. Awesome. So yeah, this is my 1080p settings for the 1050 Ti. Let's try 900p now. I'll do medium first without any dynamic resolution. Just because reasons. No frame skip. So I disable dynamic res and I'll lower to 900p. Hopefully the game doesn't crash after switching resolutions. Let's give it a try. Alright, come on capture card, I trust you. Okay, so we are now at 900p medium settings. I'll enable ambient occlusion just in case we get better performance. And I accept the settings. So while I change the status, so this is 900p medium right now, plus AO, awesome. And we do the same fight. Need GPU overclock? Not really, won't make a huge difference. Don't be ridiculous. And I know most people won't overclock. Okay, so this one, again, the tank garage bunker was the worst performance I found at the moment in the 30 minutes I've been playing. Okay, so 900p medium settings and ambient occlusion. Come on, hit me. Okay, this is much better, to be expected. We get like 10% of the GPU power to spare, which is useful for the effects. I'll crank it up a little bit maybe later. I don't think it's a good idea though, because when the effects show up, the GPU usage goes into the mid-90s. So if I crank up the, I don't know, the shadows and the particle effects, it should be dropping below 60. So I'll say this is the best configuration for 900p, medium settings, ambient occlusion enabled, and nothing else, at least right now. If I found a more demanding stage, of course, I'll mention it in my final video that is going to be released tomorrow. But yeah, I think 900p is the sweet spot on this one. Why motion blur is turned on? I don't know, because reasons. That's usually my best bet. At 60 frames it doesn't really bother me, in this game at least, because it's not a first-person shooter. Just preference. I don't really notice a lot of blurriness, so I keep it enabled. But yeah, personal preference. In most games I don't really like to have it enabled, but on this one is fine. Are i7 4790 good for 2019? Yes, of course. Right now is good enough, at least in my opinion. I owned that CPU and it worked fantastically. It shouldn't be too far away for modern stuff. Alright, finally got him. Yeah, I'm going to go for the 570 after I test the 720p. After 720p I'll swap the GPUs. So don't worry. Back down X. So yeah, it's working well on 900p medium. Isn't a huge visual difference. The shadow quality is still pretty good. We are getting ambient occlusion, so the game doesn't look that flat. The TAA plus FXAA is enabled, so the jaggies are not that noticeable, at least the ones close to the camera. Oh, I didn't want to retry. So yeah, I would say this is the best configuration for the 1050 Ti 900p medium ambient occlusion. I mean, it's medium settings, but it's not too far from the maximum. I mean, just look at this list over here. We got lighting on medium instead of high, so it's just one step below. Particles is 2 steps below, so it's from very high to medium. And shadows is from very high to medium, no big deal. And particles on the CPU. So yeah, let's now do 720p. And I'm going to crank it up to the max, because it should be more than enough to max out the game, even with GPU particles. But I don't expect that to make a huge difference on the performance. So let's do 720 now, just for the purists. And then I'll swap to the RX 570, so we have an idea on how it performs. Come on. Okay, 720p. So cover your eyes if you're sensitive to low resolutions. Okay, I think that the game crashed. Awesome. Let's see how it does. Come on. Oh, never mind, it didn't crash. Awesome. I'll just now turn this off. We don't need zoom on this one, so I'm doing now 720p max. So I'm going to write 720p. Whoa, I almost destroyed the microphone. 720p max, sorry about that, guys. So we accepted the changes, blah, 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 blah. Let's go into the fight. Okay, Scorpion, Sub-Zero again, and on the Tank Garage Bunker, since I got low frame rates on that one. Is the 1650 worth it? I don't know how it performs, so I cannot really say. I will get the card in around 2 weeks, so patience on that one. But okay, 720p max settings, more than enough for 60 frames, as you can see. We're at 70% GPU usage, even when particles show up. So yeah, if you have a 720p display, you can max it out without a problem. So yeah, don't worry about it. So yeah, the sweet spot on this one is 900p medium settings, ambient occlusion enabled for the 1050 Ti. Then if you want to do 1080p, I'll do medium again, but using dynamic resolution and frame skip. I mean, at least on this stage that ran worse than the other ones I tested, the other 4. I'll keep testing stages outside of the stream, of course. But yeah, so far this is what we got. I'll swap to the RX 570 right now, after I'm done with this fight. Okay, he got me. Awesome. Oh man. You're gonna translate this video? No, I cannot translate 2 or 3 hours of live stream, unfortunately, but I'll have the usual videos that have subtitles, so don't worry about that. On those, I'll have my final thoughts on the performance, on what the best settings are, all that kind of stuff, as usual. This is just my, how to say it, my investigation moment. This is stuff that I usually don't do publicly, but I prefer to do a live stream on it, so I can have it out quickly, I can explain you guys my methodology, all the usual stuff. So yeah, he got me, awesome. So yeah, right now I'll put 1080p max and go back into the PC, swap to the RX 570, all the good stuff. I don't want to retry. Why do I put retry each time? Jesus. Okay. Can the game run on the GT 1030? Yeah, it should be fine. Just consider 720p medium for that one. Okay, I'm going to swap settings now for the 570. I think the 570, yeah, the problem with that one is that I have to install drivers and all the boring stuff to make the video. But hey, it will be worth it. Since I'm quite limited on time today, I have to do it quickly. Excuse me. So I accept the changes, yeah. We go back to 1080 for the next card. Now the game actually crashed, awesome. No, it didn't crash, okay. So we're going to keep it on max settings and go back into the desktop. Give me 1 second, guys. I gotta turn that off. So Alt F4. We're going to hide this window. I'm going to now just install the new card. So 1 second, I have to delete the previous driver. Be right back. I'll just switch to this. Hello. So here's the 570, as you can see, getting ready to be swapped for the 1050 Ti. So I'll shut down the PC because I deleted the NVIDIA drivers. So 1 second, guys. Okay, the PC is now off. Let me swap the 570, be right back. So here's the 1050 Ti. And this is the AORUS 570, as you can see, the RX 570, the AORUS version. And I'm going to turn on the PC using just a pen. Alright, wonderful. Now I'm going to install the AMD drivers. In the meantime, I'll read the chat. RX 570 will destroy the 1050 Ti. Yes, that's to be expected. You don't look nothing like I thought you look. Okay, I don't know if that's good or bad, but thanks. RX 570 is got F. Okay. Where are you from? I'm from Uruguay. a country between Argentina and Brazil. Yeah, the pen power. The most powerful thing that you can use to turn on your computer without a case. 100% RX 570 power. Pretty much, yeah. You have RX 570 XFX, you have Sapphire. Well, you have a good version. The Sapphire cards are amazing. I have the Gigabyte AORUS version. Cool NASA sweatshirt. Oh, thanks. I like it too. It's fantastic. Report that pen. Soon. Soon. How's the game so far? So far the game is what I expected. More refined fighting compared to Mortal Kombat X. But I don't know, sometimes it feels a little unresponsive, especially when you're about to hit the opponent, but the hit doesn't happen. I don't know if it's my Xbox controller or the game itself. But sometimes I felt like the buttons I pressed didn't register. Not sure if that's me or I don't know. So yeah, I'll find out soon enough. I need to play more of it. But overall it felt like a Mortal Kombat game so far. I thought you were from Spain. No, I'm from South America. If I was from Spain, YouTubing would be much easier, that's for sure. But unfortunately not. I'm from South America, where all the cards are super expensive. How old are you? I'm 23. 23. I'm getting old, yeah. Ryzen 3 2200G or i3 8100, depends on the price. If it's similar in price with the motherboard, the RAM and the CPU, get the i3, but if not, just get the 2200G. It should be better price to performance. It should be cheaper, better said, but yeah. Thanks for the amazing benchmarks. Thank you for watching the video. Highly appreciated. I'm still installing the drivers. Sorry about that, guys. Sometimes the transition is kind of annoying. I hate when this happens. But that's how it goes. Unfortunately, it's failing to install the driver like the previous time. Awesome. I'll quickly download the latest ones. I always disable the internet, but this time I cannot do it. I'm live streaming. So that sucks, but hey, you missed it. I'm 23. I was born in 1995. That sounds like a long time ago, but it's not. Refresh the page. Hey, how are you doing? Good to see you. ¿Cómo andas? Frenetic. Ese nombre gamer, ¿Todo bien? Your RX 570 is undervolted or stock? I like to undervolt it. It's much better temperatures, same performance. So yeah, that's my take on it, to say it in some way. I'll undervolt it in this video, so you'll see it. You'll see that pretty clearly. If I can actually install the drivers, it takes some time. I don't know why it doesn't want to install them. But I have DDU, so I can do it pretty quickly. Whatever, I don't care about this. So I remove these ones right here. Oh man, what a stress. I'm live and I cannot put the GPU to work. Okay, almost there. Come on DDU, I trust you. Okay, now I have a black screen. Wonderful. So I'll just restart the PC with a pen. Oh yeah, it always works. Saludos desde México, bueno, saludos desde Uruguay. Un gusto ver gente de todos lados. ¿Todo bien? Argentina, también. Te saludo en español. Bueno, Javier de Argentina, te saludo en español. ¿Cómo estás? ¿Todo bien? Are you using a 144 Hz monitor? I used one, I sold it because I couldn't get most games to that refresh rate, to that high frame rate. So I got frustrated and decided to go back to 60 Hz. Now I know that I prefer ultra-wide resolutions to high refresh rate, which is good to know. I saved a ton of money because you don't have to spend that much on the CPU. The GPU matters much more on that one. So yeah, especially, well, in competitive games, 144 Hz makes a difference, a huge difference. So yeah, if you're very competitive, go for 144. Super recommended. But yeah, is it HyperX Cloud 2 headset? Yes, this is the HyperX Cloud 2. It's the best headset I ever owned. Super comfy. I can wear them like 8 hours straight and I don't have any pain in my ears, in my head. Super comfy. Highly recommended. And they are pretty cheap considering what they offer. Gracias, Javier. Hablo español nativamente, así que era de esperarse. Yes, in Uruguay we speak Spanish, yeah, but we get English from a very young age, so we have a chance to speak other languages. From very... Okay, now I think it's working. Finally I can install the drivers. Please AMD, please. Okay, it's working now. I'm restarting the computer so I can finally undervolt the card, get into the game and show you the performance. Oh, finally. It's always such a pain to install drivers in a live stream. I feel like I'm bleeding viewers and people are getting bored, but that's fine. Wait for you, Xbox, what do you mean? Yeah, I have an Xbox 360, Xbox One controller this time around. But yeah. Oh, yeah, it should work on your Xbox. If you have an Xbox One, just connect them to the bottom of the controller and you'll be good to go. Alright, so now... Okay, yeah, AMD telling me to open the overlay. I don't want it. I'm just going to show you me undervolting the card in 2 simple steps, not clickbait. You're getting a lot of questions. Yeah, it's to be expected. I'm glad to be getting questions. So, I'll show you now the screen. Oh man. Oh, I hate when the card does this. Give me 1 second, guys. AMD doesn't like me using capture cards sometimes. I have to disable the HDCP on the capture card. 1 second, guys. Oh man, one thing behind the other. Is it recommended, the Xbox Elite controller? I think it's a little too expensive considering what it is, at least in my opinion. Okay, it doesn't seem to want me to do this. Okay, here we go. I disable HDCP. I hate when that happens. Okay, now we shouldn't say copy protected content. Come on, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to undervolt the RX 570. So as you can see here in the voltage control, I'm going to put 675. I wish 975. So I'm going to put that on from state 3 to 7. That's my best undervolt. And then I'll just close that. For some reason I don't have any audio, thank God. And in the MSI Afterburner, I'm going to just put the fan speed on 50%. Nah, 45 is enough. And I'm going to restart the computer because I don't have any audio. Yep, thanks AMD. Super helpful. I don't know why this is flipped. For some reason my screen is flipped. Awesome. Oh man. Oh, why? Why does it happen? I don't know why the screen is upside down, but it's hilarious. Yeah, it's still upside down. What the hell? Why? Why in a live stream? Oh my god, it's upside down. This is not good. I'll try to flip it in here. Give me 1 second. Oh god, this is awful. Yeah, I cannot do anything about it. Awesome. I'll deactivate it and activate it, maybe. Maybe that fixes. Okay. Oof. Okay, I feel better now. More confident. I have audio. I have the image not upside down. Fantastic. No more complaining for my part. And in Wattman, I'm going to put now again the undervolt. Okay, it seems to be there, but I'll reset it just in case. Sometimes it likes to reset itself. That's super annoying. Okay, 975 millivolts. We launch, what is it? Here. Okay, the fans are at 45%. Awesome. And now let's get finally into the game. So we launch it and hope for the best. Excuse me. I'll just close this magnifier. The AMD experience. Well, if you want to do something quickly, usually the AMD card is not your best bet. At least in my live streams, that's the proof. It takes a lot of time sometimes to get things working, but it usually works fine. It depends. Gracias, Henry Danger. Me alegro que te sirva lo que hago. Specs. I'm going to change this to RX 570. And instead of RX 570 soon, I'm going to put 1050 Ti done. Already tested. That's much better. Okay. So, we're back into the game now. And I'm going to put 1080p max right now. Okay, awesome. And let's jump again into the menu. So we go into the options menu and we got 1080p and we're maxed out. At least it seems to be like that. Let me check. Yeah, max settings. So this is 1080p maxed out again. No big deal. No dynamic resolution, no frame skip. So let's go to the demanding stage. All right. Scorpion Sub-Zero, super creative, and we're going to select the Tank Garage Bunker. I expect the first fight to be choppy. On the RTX 11 stuff, I usually got a lot of choppiness the first time around. Then I think the cache builds or something, and the game is much smoother. So yeah, expect some stutter at the very start. As you can see right now. Come on. Let the stutter happen. Come on, AMD. The stutter. Let it go. I don't know what that happens. Oh, okay, I'm using a lot of VRAM, probably related to VRAM. I'm going to lower the textures after this fight. But yeah, I mean, look at the GPU usage. The difference there is already noticeable. I was getting this GPU usage using 720p on the 1050 Ti. I just need to lower textures because I got over the VRAM limit. That's why the stutter. But yeah, that's why. So let me, after this fight, I'm going to swap textures. Just in case, I want to see if that's the issue. Now it's much smoother. But yeah, the performance now is night and day. On the other one, on the 1050 Ti, here was dropping into the 50s. It was pretty much into the 50s with 99% GPU usage. And on this one, I'm getting like 65%. But again, I'm getting stutter, probably VRAM related. I'm going to check that out after this fight. But yeah, no competition at the moment. The stutter is annoying, but probably fixable with texture changes. ¿Para qué voy a poner las partículas en el CPU si la GPU está más que sobrada? Está en 65%. No tiene ningún sentido. Is the game good optimized? So far, in this stage I'm playing right now, is running similarly to the... what's the name of it? To Injustice 2. So I would use that as this one as a worst case scenario at the moment. But yeah. And something happened there with Windows, not sure what's going on. Okay, he almost got me. ¿Dónde aprendiste a hablar inglés tan fluido? Y practicando. Fui a DL4 Certificate y después seguí por mi cuenta. No soy profesor. No tengo paciencia para eso. Okay, I'm going to do the back down X, the fatality. Again, as you can see, the stutter, probably VRAM related. As you can see, it's maxed out completely, the VRAM usage. Excuse me. So yeah, I mean, no competition right now with the numbers. I'm going to lower the textures because I think I screwed up with that one. But yeah, nunca me has escuchado hablar español. Todo eso es nuevo en el canal. Sí, parece ser un tema de memoria de video. It seems to be VRAM related, so let's lower textures to high. Let me see if I need to restart the game. Hopefully not. Yeah, I probably need to restart the game. I'll do that right away. Yeah, I know. The Radeon settings. Whatever. Let me see if the game actually... Okay, it closed. Awesome. Let's launch it again, now with high textures. And I forgot to do this, thanks to the people that let me know. I forgot to zoom in on the frame rate. Sorry about that. Plus high textures. Awesome. But yeah, I just like when games make you restart for graphics options. Yeah, but on textures it makes more sense. Usually games, when you change textures, you need to restart them. For the other options, they don't need to restart, which is a good thing. But yeah, I wish even textures were able to be changed, but not all the time. Good Rick, but... Oh, you're talking to somebody else, okay. 1650 news is lower than the 570, even overclocked, save money, skip the 1030, blah blah blah. Well, we'll see if we get a 1650 Ti. Hopefully we can get more competition, because it's getting ridiculous. So, okay, as I said a second ago, on the video options I'm using max settings, but the only thing I lowered was textures from very high to high, because we were getting heavy stutter. No, I don't want to quit the game. So let's give it another try on the 570 now. So the tank garage bunker. Okay, the stutter even in this menu is much lower, so awesome. But yeah, if we get more stutter, I don't know what it could be. I'll check the CPU, but yeah. Okay. Yeah, the CPU usage is higher compared to the 1050 Ti. Yeah, now it's significantly better. So yeah, it seems to be texture related. Now we're not getting the VRAM maxed out, we're getting 2.7 gigabytes, to say it in some way. 2718 megabytes instead of 3999 megabytes. So yeah, we're not over the VRAM limit. Probably the 1050 Ti should also benefit from lowering textures. Whoa. Get over here. Oh, he got me. Necesito un consejo. Tengo un i7 4970, 4790. ¿Vos decís que ya lo cambie? No, para mí no vale la pena cambiarlo ahora. Yo me quedaría con eso y cambiaría la tarjeta de video. 1660 Ti, don't buy 1660. Well, it depends on the price. Soy de Uruguay, Pablo. Pero estuviste cerca. But yeah, guys, as I was saying a second ago, just max it out on the 570, lower textures from very high to high, and you'll be fine. 60 frames without any problems whatsoever. We're getting the max CPU, the max GPU usage I saw was around 70 to 75%. So we got a lot of GPU power to spare to get 60 frames, and this should be one of the most demanding stages for what I tested. I'll test more stages, of course, when I'm alone. But right now, this is looking good for the 570, not so good for the 1050 Ti if you want a 1080p high settings, unless you don't mind using dynamic resolution. But yeah, I mean, I was expecting worse performance coming from the previous ports of Mortal Kombat and Mortal Kombat X and all that. So yeah. Okay, demonetized. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention. I mention it all the time, but I'll mention it again. Maybe some of you didn't hear. When you get into a cutscene, I mean one of the fatal blows, a fatality, something like that, the game will hard lock at 30. So those cutscenes will be locked at 30 frames per second, which means that the game will just slow down to half the frame rate. Like here, back down X. Here, in the fatality, it drops into the 30s. You cannot really get rid of this. It also happens on consoles. So yeah, it's normal. Don't worry about it. Me seguís desde el i3 a 41.50. Pa, estás de hace mucho tiempo. Gracias por estar, Ignacio. Are the kill animations locked to 30? Yes, that's what I was talking about. That's exactly it. That's how it's happening. Even the menus. Okay, I'm done with the 570. I think it's pretty clear that I can do 1080p. I might do 1440. Let me check. Yeah, I'll do 1440 just for the sake of it. 1440p. Oh, I cannot select 1440p. Okay, never mind then. I'll stick to this one. Maybe I'll try something else. Maybe if I select 1440 in the desktop, I can actually do 1440p in the game. Let me check. Some people told me that DSR, the dynamic super resolution from NVIDIA, but you can force higher resolutions on your monitor, didn't work, so be aware of that. If you want to force 1440p on your 1080p display, it doesn't seem to be working for most people. So be aware of that if you wanted to use that technique. I have a 4K monitor, so it shouldn't be an issue to select 1440. But be aware of that. ¿Está limitado a 60? Sí, como los anteriores. Está limitado a 60. 4790. Sí, un 4790 estás bien todavía. Yo no me quejaría con eso. Mientras esté todo en dual channel de la RAM, no tendrías problema. Battlefield te va a 30 FPS con Pentium 2060. Y sí, tiene sentido, es por el procesador. Get me GTX 1050 Ti. I don't get what you're talking about. ¿Qué tal va con la i50 Ti? Rebobinada a 30 minutos y lo vas a ver. 30 minutos, sí, más o menos. Corre 900p en medio, 60 fps, 1080p en medio con resolución dinámica, 60 fps, 720p ultra a 60 fps. I was saying in Spanish that the 1050 Ti runs the game at 1080p medium with dynamic resolution at 60 frames pretty much, 55 to 60. Then if you want to do 900p, you can use medium and no dynamic resolution. There we go, 1440. And then if you want to do 720, you can max it out on the 1050 Ti, sorry. No problems for that. But yeah, now I swap to 1440p on max settings. Let's see how it goes. Hopefully it goes well. If not, I'll just try to change it up and see how it goes. So yeah. Sí, reinstalar los drivers es importante. Eso es lo que hice en el stream. Demoró un rato, pero bueno. Es lo que hay. So Scorpion versus Sub-Zero again on the tank garage bunker, because I got the lowest numbers so far for the few stages I played. 1440p, max settings, high textures. Let's see how it goes. Okay, we're getting 60s now, but with maxed out GPU usage, so I expect this to drop into the 50s with particles on screen. He's kicking my ass, awesome. Yeah, mid-50s, this should be super easy to fix. So you can play 1440p, incredible. Pretty impressive. Oh man. He's just cheesing now. Okay, he got me there. Oh yeah, it's not too bad, it feels super smooth. As you can see there, drops into the 30s just for that cinematic. Oh man, please don't kill me. Oh, I screwed up. I forgot how to block. Are Acer monitors good? I never owned one, so I cannot really say. I owned AOC, Busonic, LG, Dell, and yeah, that's about it. So far the ones that I liked the most were the LG, AOC and Dell. The Busonic monitor was good, but it wasn't that good on viewing angles. It was a TN panel, so it was to be expected, but yeah, I never had an Acer display. Oh, come on. Don't do that. Oh man, it's been an hour already. Yeah, that's the GPU change and the drivers and all that really took a lot of time. I won't be able to do the 1060 and the 750 Ti today, but I'll do it tomorrow, so don't worry. But man, that sucks. It took me so long to change GPUs. You want to see Shaggy? Yeah, me too. I mean, Warner Brothers should be able to. Don't they own Scooby-Doo? They should be able to. So yeah, now I'm going to just lower the settings a little bit. See what's the best settings for 1440p. Maybe try 4K for a couple minutes. And then I'll be done because I have to go. So sorry about that, but today it will be, yeah, a little rough. So we're going to use medium lighting, high particles, high shadows, and high textures. So I'll consider this a mix between medium and high. I know it's not exactly that, but I have to call it in some form. So there we go. So this is my settings for 1440p. Let's accept the changes. The screen tearing hurts my eyes so much. Well, yeah, I never use VSync on my videos, so sorry about that. You can enable VSync just fine, don't worry. This is just for testing purposes. I don't want VSync to interfere with the numbers. But yeah. Todos hablamos sus 17 y yo mi FX 6300 hace unos años. En qué momento se te prende fuego la casa. Bueno, todo es utilizable, le haces overclock y anda re bien. Tomorrow 1060, yes, tomorrow 1060, 1050 Ti, 570, 750 Ti, all the usual stuff. Today is just to see how the game runs overall, to have some investigation done, which is testing some stages, testing some settings, all that stuff. As you can see now, using medium lighting, ambient occlusion, high shadows, high particles, and all that. I'm sorry, I got distracted. With those settings, I'm getting 60s locked on this map, which was the worst performance I found so far. I was saying hi to someone. Oh man, the screen's but yeah, 1440p is totally doable on the 570 on this game. Just lower everything to high, keep the ambient occlusion enabled, and lower the lighting to medium, and that should be more than enough. As you can see, the GPU usage is around upper 80s, lower 90s, so there's some room to spare for effects to show up. And yeah, after that I'm just going to test some other stages probably. 4K I think is a little worthless in this case. It will be probably 30 frames low settings. But yeah. Okay, a lot of comments. RX 580 tomorrow. Unfortunately I no longer own the 580, I had to sell it. I couldn't afford having that many cards on the channel, which sucks. But hey, I did what I could. So yeah, the strategy here is to do 1050 Ti, 750 Ti, 1066 and 3 gigs, and then do the 570. So we got the 4 cards, 5 actually, because if not I really don't have enough time, and it's too expensive to keep that many GPUs. So I'm sorry about that, but that's all I can do. So yeah, probably getting demonetized as right now. That sucks. So yeah, I'm going to select this again, but another stage. Let me see. The Hourglass, let's do that one. ¿Cuándo haces un video con el i7? Ya no tengo 6.7, así que no puedo hacer ese video, y no tengo la i70, así que no puedo hacer ese video, así que lo lamento. What's better, GeForce Experience or the AMD one? It depends on what you want to do. Both do what they have to do very well. But on AMD side, you have a lot of tweaking potential that NVIDIA doesn't have. You can overclock with it, you can undervolt, you can even overclock inside the game. NVIDIA GeForce Experience doesn't allow that. This map is less demanding. So yeah, it depends on you. NVIDIA GeForce Experience at least allows you to select the recommended settings for each game, so you can tweak games with it. Not perfect, at least in my experience. I prefer to tweak manually, but it has much more settings to tweak games than on AMD. AMD is just getting started with those. Both can do recording. You can record with AMD or NVIDIA with those applications. So yeah, it depends on your taste, what you want to do with your card. If you like to overclock and tweak your card to whatever levels you want, usually AMD has better tools on the drivers. But then NVIDIA has more compatibility with the game settings and all that to tweak games if you don't know how to do it. So yeah, it depends on what you want to do. Todavía es viable comprar el i3 8100 y depende del precio de los otros procesadores. Vi muchos Ryzen 5 1600 a precio similar, así que ahí voy por el Ryzen, sin dudas. Depende de los precios en tu región. Mejor debí tenerme un alto PC y lo dejo para el stream. Sí, será. Es buena idea. What's your main PC? The main PC is the one doing the live stream. It's a Ryzen 5 2600 with the stock cooler, 16 gigs of RAM, and an RTX 2060. And that's about it. I have two SSDs, one of 512 gigabytes, another one of 250, and a 2 terabyte hard drive. And that's enough to what I do on the PC, the live streaming, the recording, all the kind of stuff, also the video editing. So yeah. Porque no puedo más con un celerón, sí, me imagino. Los celerones son dolorosos. Is this Spanish you're talking? Yes, I'm doing that. If you speak English, I'll respond in English. If you speak Spanish, I'll respond in Spanish. That's how this live stream works, pretty much. For this game, total usage looks... I don't know what that means. Okay. No context is kind of difficult. Let's try Black Dragon Fight Club. Let's see how that one goes. So far, the one with the hangar and the tank is the worst performing one. But yeah. Okay, this one seems to be pretty similar to the other one. If we get into the 90% GPU usage range, it will be the same as the one on the tank. But so far it seems to be less taxing. Oh, hello. Oh, man. Y yo aquí con mi AMD todo hirviendo. Which pre-built PC is best if I decided to buy? Well, it actually depends on which ones you have available, the pricing, how much it costs to build the PC on your own. If you dare to build the PC on your own, that's actually also very important. So yeah, it really depends on where you live. Pricing is hard to say. If you provided me with 2 or 3 pre-builds that you look into, I can tell you which one is best, if you want to see that. Harás pruebas con los Ryzen 3000 de gama media, de gama baja cuando salgan y veremos. Todavía no sé. Vamos a ver cuánto salen, cuánto cuesta, todo ese tema. Salen y cuesta es lo mismo. Hagamos un asado con AMD este fin. Dale, vamos arriba, yo el asado. Are you living in Spain? No, I'm living in Uruguay. It's in a country in South America between Argentina and Brazil. So yeah, that's pretty much. What is your opinion on the Ryzen 2600 paired with an RTX 2060? It's enough for 60 frames. You can do 1440p, 2560 by 1080 as well. Since I play at that resolution, 1080p ultra wide, I don't really need a lot of GPU. The 2060 is good enough. I just want 60 frames. The 2600 is enough for that, at least in my taste. We got enough for it. Some games like Assassin's Creed Odyssey have a lot of trouble hitting 60, but that game uses a ton of CPU. I had trouble hitting 60s even on the i7 8700 in some parts. So yeah, it was to be expected, I guess. I'm not super demanding with games, so yeah. Con las 570, las 1050 Ti la puedes ver 40 minutos atrás. Okay, I'll try some more stages. Scorpion. I'll try Noob Saibot this time around. Let's go with Noob. And let's try Sharai Ryu Fire Garden. Sharai Ryu, sorry. Let's try that one. ¿Puedes hacer más videos en español? Tengo subtitulados los videos, excepto los streams, está todo subtitulado. Más que eso no puedo hacer. Whoa, this one looks pretty damn good. And it doesn't perform as bad as the other ones, so this one seems to be pretty light on resources. This one looks pretty beautiful. Gotcha. Oh man, I suck. Not sure if you guys run into the same, but sometimes I feel that the controls don't respond to me as fast as I want in this game. If some of you played it, please let me know. Sometimes I feel like my actions don't register. Uf, almost. Ojalá Rage 2 rinda bien con el i3 y la 570. Probablemente va a estar en Vulkan, así que sí, no lo pondré en duda. Ya nos vamos a enterar. My Spanish is so bad. Sorry about that. But you can always improve. Just practice, man. Watch some soap operas and you get some language there. The problem with Spanish is that it can vary so much depending on the country, and countries that are so close together. If you are in Mexico, some words won't be the same as if you are in, I don't know, in Argentina. I mean some slang words. It's pretty funny, still, how people get confused sometimes. But yeah. What time is it now in South America? Well, in this part of South America, next to Brazil, is 7:24 p.m. So it's nighttime. Whoa, that hurts a lot. So yeah, I had to go in around 40 minutes, but I also have to drink some coffee before I go. So yeah, I also have to monetize this video, do all that kind of stuff, if I can actually monetize it. But yeah. Sí, No Man's Sky ahora que tiene Vulkan puedo probarlo, de vuelta. Spanish looks much harder than English. Yeah, it's significantly harder than English. English is much simpler, that's for sure. And I'm glad it's simpler, because I had to learn it. Spanish just came with the package when I was born. Oh, I screwed up. Whoa. Alright, that wasn't the button I was looking for. Oh, it's the other way around. Okay, gotcha. Get over here. Got him. No fatalities for now. Mañana estoy para ver desde la E60. Sí, por supuesto. Va a aparecer y todo. I leveled up. Oh, what is this? Currency, time crystals. I don't like when I get different currencies in a game. It's kind of scary. Rip Noob Cybot. Yeah, pretty much. You're a nice streamer. I like your benchmarks a lot. Well, thanks. Much appreciated. Let's see. Liu Kang. The zombie Liu Kang. Oh, I want to see... Whoa, the game froze. Okay. Never mind. It was just a stutter. Let's see Johnny Cage. We're gonna select... the black market. There seems to be people in the background that should be taxing. You cook delicious dishes. Well, I'm glad. ¿Alguien vio la Slip PC? No, no sé quién es ese. ¿Crees que la 590 mejorará con futuros drivers? Y sí, supongo que sí, porque todas las AMD mejoran mucho con drivers. Alright. Yeah, I mean, the performance is super similar to the one in the tank stage, the one with the hangar. Yeah, we're super close in performance to that one. Oh man, yeah, no response. That scares me a little bit. Okay. Oh, I screwed up. La 570. La D50 Ti puedes rebobinar 40 minutos y aparece. Okay, after this fight, guys, I'm going to finish the stream. I need to go away super quickly. I need to go to my Kung Fu classes. I also need to edit another video I had ready for this week. So yeah, sorry about that. I wanted to test more GPUs in this live stream, but I mean, with the driver installs, the tweaking of the settings, I won't have enough time. So yeah, after this fight is done, I'll have to go. But hey, at least I know how the game runs now and what I'll do tomorrow. But yeah. But yeah, also one thing I have to mention, I'm shocked that I can play 1440p medium to high settings at 60 frames on the 570. I wasn't really expecting that. Oh, I screwed up. But yeah, it's pretty impressive. Oh, the funny one. I love that one. Okay, that wasn't funny. Well, thanks Johnny Cage, the super flexible man that does stretching every 5 minutes. Okay, not in 4K. Nah, I think that 4K in this case, I'll just see it in the menu with the benchmark tool. But I don't think it'll run well. Now I have to restart the game. Nah, I won't do 4K now. I'll do it on the final video tomorrow, so don't worry. I'll be testing 4K there. But yeah, I mean, right now I have to go. I'll just talk about the graphic settings and all that and say goodbye. So I was doing 1440p on medium to high settings. As you can see here, I selected everything on high, lighting on medium. That's the only thing that is on medium. Then I didn't choose the dynamic resolution, but if you're dropping below 60 into the mid 50s, for example, use dynamic resolution and frame skip. It will make the game smoother overall. But yeah, I mean, in the options, what made the biggest difference in performance was lighting. Ambient occlusion, if you disable this, it will be a good difference in performance. Particle density depends on what you're doing. Sometimes it can make a huge difference, sometimes it doesn't. On the particles mode, you can select between the CPU and GPU. Really, I didn't see a huge difference between this one and this one. I just select CPU when the GPU is maxed out. Then shadows also made a difference, but it wasn't that big, so my main recommendation here is that you lower first lighting. If that's not enough, lower particles and shadows together. Excuse me. If that's not enough, disable ambient occlusion. And if that's not enough, enable dynamic resolution so you don't get a huge hit to the visuals and you can get good frame rates. Depends on your PC, of course. But yeah, I mean, that's about it. If you want to see the 1050 Ti, rewind like 40 minutes or something like that, maybe an hour. And yeah, I mean, both cards can do 60 frames per second. The 1050 Ti requires 1080p with dynamic res, medium settings, 900p medium settings, 720p ultra settings. And then for the 570, you need to do 1080p ultra, 1440p medium. And as far as I can suppose right now, because I didn't test it, 4K should be low settings, 30 to 40. So yeah, I wouldn't recommend 4K on this card. But yeah, I have to go, guys. Thank you so much for watching this live stream, for sticking around. Unfortunately, this video will probably be demonetized, but thanks to, I forgot to say again, thanks to WB Games for providing a copy of the game. I don't have to be so worried about demonetization on this video due to that, because I didn't have to buy the game. Still, my opinions are my own. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this live stream, and I see you next time. Bye-bye. I'll see you tomorrow with my videos. This live stream will be published, so don't worry if you missed it. I'll be right back then. Anyways, bye-bye.